So this is Knighthood for Beginners by Dolan. I just should say at the beginning of this that apparently she was named after Elys department store in Wimbledon. I thought you should know that. I loved this so much. I read this on a very miserable news day as the rain lashed down. It really, really cheered me up, in which Dave, who is a dragon, is really bad at being a dragon because he can't knit. That's very important for dragons, and he's rubbish at it. So he decides counterintuitively that he's going to train to be a knight. He needs a steed, so he acquires this improbable steed who is a German goat called Albrecht, that's him there, who has an unusually silky coat and a bizarrely checkered history. This is them in the dragon-free towns, which is not a good place for Dave to be, infested by peasants, where the main thing they eat is rat on a stick. This is a bit later, where they crawl up and emerge from the king's lavatory for reasons I can't quite remember, but they do. It's got toilet humour in it. As a boy said to me when I was talking about it in the shop, he said, if it's got toilet humour in it, I'll buy it. And he did. This is later on. They meet a witch who they send out on dates. It's just crammed full of gags. It's really, I have to say, it's very, very silly. As Mark was just saying, a lot happens in this book, and yet it's very, very coherent as well. Not easy to do that. I would totally recommend it for kind of readers of around 7 till 9 will have a lot of fun with this, and adults too. And this is Glister. Glister is 4 books in one, and that's a massive bargain because they're only going to cost you £12.50. They were released some time ago, and it's a beautiful thing. Glister is an extraordinarily independent, competent, intelligent, capable person, surrounded by bizarre characters. So the opening story is the haunted teapot. The teapot is haunted by a ghost of a kind of grumpy writer. And then the second one, the house in which she and her father live, just goes off wandering round the country for no readily discernible reason, just because it feels like it. The third book, she goes to fairyland to find her mother. And in the fourth book, all her relatives arrive to live with her, which she's really pleased, but then, I mean, and we've all been there, it's kind of a nightmare. It's great. I love it. Her frenemy, the troll. Her dad, who doesn't really know what he's doing. Full of great characters, incredibly satisfying. I've given this to adults and they've loved it. This is by the excellent Andi Watson, who wrote the Gum Girl books. Whoever in this country has the rights to those, shame on you for the fact that they're not still in print. Glister. We love it. So this is Things a Bright Girl Can Do by Sally Nicholls. A book whose time has definitely come. Votes for Women, as you see on the back. I've actually never read a novel about the suffragettes before, which seems to me to be absolutely extraordinary. I've read plenty of factual stuff about them, but I've never read a novel. And this is about 3 girls, May, Nell and Evelyn, who are caught up in the struggle for women's suffrage as the First World War approaches. It's very powerful. It's also very warm and very funny, which is not easy to pull off when you're talking about such a serious subject. I loved it for many reasons, but one was how intensely it made me realise what these women went through in order that we should be able to vote today. Their relationships are very real and very convincing. It's very good and very immediate on the kinds of poverty that people would have experienced at that time as well, and also how you would have managed or not managed being very, very different and wanting very different things from the people around you. And the things that some of these characters want are absolutely the things we take for granted. So, you know, an education, and of course the right to vote. I'd thoroughly recommend it for readers of 12 plus. It was one of my best novels of 2017. So this is Lovely by Jess Hong. You know, you might have heard about this thing called diversity, which everybody's talking about at the moment. This book talks about it in an extremely charming and accessible and unpreachy way. What is lovely? Lovely is different. And there you go. It's all the different kinds of lovely. And the things I've been thinking lately as I look at people on the tube is how much I enjoy how different people look, and how we don't need to look the same or be the same. Like that page, I had braces. So many different kinds of people. And you know, I kind of think this book has a point to make, but the visual style is so appealing and engaging. Great one for schools and teachers, but a wonderful one for families as well. And that's been in our window of hope, where it sits very appropriately. So If I Had a Dinosaur by Barrow and Gabby Dawnay. There are a lot of dinosaur books on the market. You might think you don't need another one, but you would be wrong. Look at the end papers. So pretty. A child can write their name in the book. But the illustrations are fab. But I like it. I like it for the pictures instead of the words. That's going to enable your child to get involved as they're reading along with you. I do like dogs. I've got a cat. A fish is far too wet. Because you see, I really want a different sort of pet. I thought about a hamster. I thought about a mouse. But I want a pet much bigger. More the size of, well, a house. Yeah, who wouldn't want a dinosaur? And it continues. It's very simple. Very engaging. I like the kids' friends, also very dinosaur enthused. They go to school, it all happens. The rhyme is great. It's been done at story time to considerable success. Yeah, if I had a dinosaur, I would recommend.